Hello friends, with our ongoing series on human resource management, today we are going to talk on information system, and for this discussion we have once again with us in our studios Mr. Amok Talan. Mr. Amok Talan is Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce and he is teaching in College of Vocational Studies. Dear friends, if you want to ask questions from Mr. Amok Talan, then you can call us in the studio and you are requested to call in the last 10 minutes. You can contact us, that is, you can ask question through our toll-free number. Our toll-free number is 1800-110-430. So dear friends, let's carry forward the lecture and let's try to understand what information systems are from Mr. Amok Talan. Hello sir, welcome to this lecture.
In today's lecture, we are going to talk about human resource information systems. Times have been changing and automation, the importance of automation has been increasing day by day. Things that used to be done offline and things that used to be recorded in registers and used to be written down, they are slowly and steadily being transferred to the computer systems because of the more efficient nature of the computers and the persistence of the computers and the communication facilities that computer systems provide. So, human resource information system, basically it refers to the human resource activities being conducted or being supported by the information systems. Slowly and steadily, human resource management in the past used to be confined of the computer subject. In the past, when we used to talk about automation, usually we used to talk about finances, operations management, which used to be handled through computers much more efficiently. Over time, it has been realized that computer facilities can also be used in human resources and it can dramatically improve the performance of human resource management or human resource managers. Before we go into much detail into human resource information systems, let us start segregating this subject. First of all, we need to talk about human resources. What is human resource? Human resource, basically, there are several activities in human resources concerning, they could be starting with selection, recruitment and selection, then training and development of those who are selected through that, then job analysis, job evaluation, then compensation management, then benefit management, and then separation of human resources and the well-being of the human resources, taking care of all that. All these activities come under human resource management. Now, one may wonder what role can a information system play in these kind of activities, because human resource activity, when we talk about human resource in general, it seems like it's concerned more with face-to-face interactions rather than something that may require computers. Because when you logically think, there's a human resource manager. He's to hire somebody. You may think that he's going to conduct the tests and interview face-to-face, and there is no such need of information systems. Again, in training, he may personally train the personnel, but there doesn't seem to be much use of information system at first glance. However, over time, it has been realized that it is not true. Information system plays just as important part in human resources as it plays in finance or operations field. Say, for example, when I have to hire somebody, simple thing when we talk about recruitment, the most efficient way of recruiting is that you invite the applications of all the potential employees who qualify for the minimum requirements of that job, and in order to sort out those applications, the best method would be to call the applications through online procedure. There could be an online form that could be submitted, or standardized online form that could be submitted by everybody applying for that particular position. And when they apply for that position, all of their applications go to the same database, to the same place, and from there a computer system can analyze all those applications at the same time and arrange those applications in a method desired by the human resource manager. Say, for example, a human resource manager may be more concerned about whether how much work experience a particular candidate has for applying that kind of job. In that situation, he can sort the applications according to the work experience and give the maximum weightage to the person who got maximum work experience. Similarly, if another job position which requires more technical skills rather than work experience, in that situation, the manager can sort out the applications on the basis of the education qualifications. So, on the basis of that, he can see that highest qualified people are seen at the top, and accordingly, those people who are desired for the position may be called for the interview procedure, for the selection procedure, for the tests, etc. So, let us start with the human resource information system. Before we start that, we need to understand what is an information system. We just talked about human resources, so let's talk about information systems. Information system is a system, whether automated or manual, that comprises people, machines, and methods organized to collect, process, transmit, and disseminate data that represent user information. So basically, in human resource, in simple information system, information system is an interaction between machine and the person. A computer in itself is nothing, and a person who needs to avail the facility of a computer obviously needs to interact with that machine or the computer in order to gain the data which he wishes to. For that, he needs to feed the data in the computer system. The computer would collect that data, would sort it out in a readable format, and then process that data according to the needs of the person who's feeding that data. So that's the processing part. That processing would be done according to the criteria fed by the managers. So, for example, in the first example I gave, recruitment, if the person needs to sort out that particular data collected by the computer regarding the invitation of the applications, in that it's going to sort those out either according to the work experience or according to the educational degrees. So for that, the computer is going to process that data, and it's going to analyze that and find out which of those applications got highest work experience or they got highest qualifications, and sort the application and present them accordingly. Then transmission and dissemination of the data. This is another important aspect of of information systems. In transmission, there has to be a proper procedure. A machine interacts with the person or the operator. Operator interacts with the machine through various procedures. As I said, he needs to interact with the machine in order to feed the data. But that input received by the machine, that is to be analyzed. After it's analyzed by the machine or the computer, the output is going to be generated and it's going to be transmitted to the person or the operator who's operating that particular computer. So that particular procedure of output transmission to the operator is known as transmission, in which there are various methods. The output could be printed, or it could be transmitted through information systems only from one computer to another computer, or computer to cell phone, with the growing trend in which cell phones are gaining importance day by day. It's getting even more easier for transmission of data because the need of the paperwork has reduced dramatically. There's lesser need of the printouts, and the data can directly be communicated from one computer to another cell phone or a handy device. So now it is clear to us what is human resource and what is information systems. Now we are in the position that we can discuss what is human resource information systems. So human resource information system is a systematic way of storing data and information for each individual employee to aid planning, decision making, and submitting of returns and reports to the external agencies. So let's talk about this statement first of all. In this, human resource information systems is a software or a program that the company has been delivered to by various agencies who specialize in developing such kind of programs, and that organization who has this software now, they use this human resource information system, this entire program, to store all the information of all the human resources, that is all the employees and the management working in the organization. From there, it can not just store the information, because storing is the most basic element of any information system. Any computer can store the information in it. However, human resource information systems specialize in analyzing that information that is stored in them and make decisions accordingly. For example, it may store information and it can decide the future planning of a particular person. Say a manager wants to look at how a particular employee is to be trained in the future. Accordingly, human resource information systems, they may analyze the information or the background of that particular employee, because that is already stored in that information, the computer systems. And on the basis of that analysis, it may decide on the basis of the trend of the training of that particular employee and the experience of that particular employee. The computer system, human resource information system, may decide what kind of training that person may need and when would it be most appropriate time when the training is to be given to that particular employee. Then decision making, it decides on the behalf of human resource managers most of the times. One thing here that needs to be noted is that human resource information system is in itself nothing if there is no managers making the judgments along with the human resource information systems. That is, decision making part of HRIS or human resource information system would not be completed unless it is substantiated by an experienced manager. Because human resource information system is, even though it's a very efficient technique, it's still just a computer system, and the decisions or the judgment that it makes are on the basis of the analysis that's going on in the computer. That is, the computer lacks conscience to decide what is right and wrong, and it's only the humans or the managers that can make that kind of judgment. So human resource information systems needs to be substantiated by managers and not just be allowed to make decisions on their own. Finally, submitting reports and returns in that to the external agencies after the analysis of the particular data of the employees in the organization. Human resource information system also plays the role of submitting the kind of returns that may be desired by the external agencies. Say, for example, in India, the Indian government, say, if it requires the information regarding the employees working in an organization, or the salary provided to the employees, or the tax benefits that are to be given to the employees. For that, the timely data has to be delivered to the respective agencies, to the tax authorities or to certain ministries of human resources. So for that, the human resource information system is again a very efficient tool, because it can analyze the information of various employees, which in a large organization could range in thousands, and it can do the analysis in seconds and transmit that particular data to any agency, external agency that the human resources may desire. Then, human resource information systems merges human resource management as a discipline, and in particular its basic HR activities and processes with the information technology field. It can be used to maintain details such as employee profiles, absence reports, salary administrations, and various kind of reports. So we are going to talk about this in more detail as we go on. However, certain things that can be noted down is that it records various employee profiles, then salary administration, as we discussed, any leave profiles of employees, that is absence reports. Leaves can be applied through human resource information systems, and any other kind of reports, that is, say for example the grievances reports of employees, that can also be recorded in human resource information system. Formally, we can define human resource information at this point of time, that is, human resource information system is the composite databases, computer applications, hardware and software that are used to collect, record, store, manage, deliver, present and manipulate data of human resources. So, human resource information system, from this definition it is clear that it is combination of various aspects, that is hardware, softwares, etc., where that software is basically the main part, that human resource information system. However, it has to be assisted by certain hardware and applications, and for that it requires certain servers and computer systems to be installed in the organization, which is availing the facility of human resource information systems, and it may be used to record, collect, store, manage, deliver and present and manipulate the data regarding the employees and the management. So let's talk about the need of human resource information system. As I said, over time it has been realized that due to the increased prevalence of computer systems these days, things cannot be let to be managed just by the offline things, offline facilities, the registers, etc., notebooks, etc. Those sources are not as reliable as the computer systems are, because the communication gap that any offline system provides, that is enough for that particular source to have its own drawbacks. However, in information systems, there is no communication gap, and the communication that you store in a particular system, that is delivered to the required agencies just as at the moment as it is stored, and that provides the efficiency of information systems. Basically, when we talk about the need, it is storing information and data for each individual employee. So it is much easier for individual employees to store their data on information systems of a company, and that data can be communicated to the managers and the management at any instant. If I want to look at the record of any particular employee at any given point of time, I would not have to sort through a lot of notebooks to find the details of that employee. I just need to type the name or any ID of that particular employee, and I will instantly get the data desired for that employee. Then providing a basics for planning, decision making, controlling, and other human resources functions. In that, basically human resource information system, when information is put in that, its job, as I said, is not just to store the information but to analyze that information. So when we talk about human resource planning is basically encompasses a lot of activities ranging from selection to the provision of the training to compensation management and all other activities of human resources and the needs of the human resources which may be encountered by the employees in the future. So those needs, now needs planning, that's very important part of human resource information system, in which it is to be seen by the information system what an employee needs or what he is going to need in the future. So from the information that it has stored, it can make that analysis very easily. Say for example, an employee who has been working in the company for some time, if on an average he has received comparatively lesser training compared to other employees in the organization, then that information system can make the judgment that that particular employee needs training in that particular field to come at par with other employees in the organization. Or say for example, manager has fed the data in human resource information system that in future he may be promoted to a particular post. Then for that particular thing, HRIS can make judgment that for that particular position he is going to require training regarding certain aspects, and that training may be provided in advance so to make him more efficient at the job when he reaches that particular position. So another aspect is that meeting daily transactional requirements such as making absent and present and granting leave facilities. So the most basic part, when we even to this date, many organizations, even though they rely on human resource information system, most of the aspects are still left to the manual or offline things. Say for example, when somebody has to apply for leave in many organizations, especially in government organizations, the procedure is followed offline, and there is in very few organizations that the facility is provided online. So human resource information system again provides the efficiency to this aspect, that is the absenteeism and the leaves facility. In organizations which have been going automated, there is a provision for the attendance. When the employee enters the organization, he can either through his thumbprint or through his ID or through any card that may be provided to him, that thing can be inserted in certain machine, and that can count his in time and out time, and accordingly grant him the absenteeism report at the end of the month to him and to the management. Then lastly, supplying data and submitting returns to government and any other statutory agencies. So as I said earlier, the information that is fed in these systems, that is collected and analyzed, and accordingly whichever agency requires any kind of information, that information is processed accordingly, say the tax returns, and they may be sent to the tax department or any other government or statutory, that is mandatory by law, any agency that may require that information. Then systems and processes at the intersection between human resource management and information technology. HRIS also merged as an HRM discipline with IT field. Then electronic tools used to access HR related information and perform HR related functions. The functions could be training and development, labor relations, strategic human resources, and global human resources. So first of all, training and development. When there's another aspect that can be related to human resource information system, which is a subpart of HRIS, which is called succession planning. Succession planning is a very efficient tool to see the career progression of the human resources in the organization and the interaction between those human resources in the organization. So, for example, if an employee is working in a particular position and the employee who's working above him or his supervisor is supposed to retire at certain point of time, then the succession planning facility provided by HRIS that will judge whether that particular employee would be qualified by the time that supervisor retires to take the place of that supervisor and be promoted to that particular position. Similarly, when we talk about the organization as a whole, organizational chart, when we talk about, there are a lot of jobs in the organizations, employees, supervisors, managers, CEO, etc. Succession planning considers all the positions at one point of time and it sees which employee would be suited for which position in the future, amounting to the retirement or the estimation of the termination of the employment of any particular employee. Also, succession planning also takes into account the training and development needs of the employees and the managers. Say for example, in order to reach a particular position, an employee needs particular skills. For that, the employee may require certain training and development in the future. For that, the succession planning would decide upon when that kind of training is to be delivered and who is to be delivered that particular training. We'll continue HRIS in a short while. Let's take a break. Welcome back, friends. Before the break, we were talking about human resource information system. In that, we were talking about one of the main important aspect of human resource information system, that is the succession planning. As we talked about, succession planning decides on the jobs that an employee may take in the future in that organization, depending on the retirement or termination of certain employees in the future, or the expansion or contraction needs of the organization, or the diversification of the business. Accordingly, it may decide who is to be taking any particular role in the future, and accordingly decide the training and development needs for those particular employees. So training and development is one of the main aspect that HRIS decides for particular employee. So the role of the managers becomes much easier. They do not need to go through in detail profile of each and every employee. Say, for example, a big organization could have thousands of employees in it, and there would be only a few human resource managers governing those thousands of employees, but they would not be able to analyze each and every employee personally. So in that situation, HRIS is very useful. It may decide which employee requires leave if they apply for the same, or which employee require training and development exercises. Then comes the labor relation part. Labor relation, in that human resource managers needs to coordinate with the employees for the efficient functioning of the human resources. Employees can file any grievances or any suggestions online, which the employee requires or expects the manager to go through and to process. For that, he may file that particular information in HRIS, which may be transmitted to the manager depending on its importance. Then global HR. Global HR, now that's another emerging field in this globalized world, in which all the organizations are connected with each other. All the organizations are interconnected throughout the globe, and when we talk about a particular organization, its various departments or its various parts of that organization may be operating in various countries in the world at the same time, and there would be only a few managers governing them, those particular aspects from a distance. In global human resources, HRIS plays a very important part. As I said earlier also before the break, the HRIS, most important aspect of HRIS is facilitating the communication information. So when a particular human resources need arises in one country, that may be transmitted to the HR manager, who may be based in some other country, through HRIS instantly, and he may make the judgment on the basis of the same, hence saving a lot of cost and lot of loss of time accordingly. Now when we talk about history of HRIS, in 50s, now basically HRIS, it developed around the information technology field. So it is very much related to the history of information technology itself. So in 1950s, the computer systems or the information technology, it was it was literally virtually non-existence. So was the human resource information systems. Then in 60s, when the computers were operated on the basic phase, HRIS was available to only few vendors, that is few of the most important or the prominent organizations in the world had the access to those expensive computers. Over time, the cost of the computers declined, and by the 80s and 90s especially, and beyond that, after 90s especially, the cost of the information technology and the computers has decreased so drastically that HRIS has become reality for not just the big organizations, but for the grassroots organizations, the startups or the organizations who do not generate enough revenue, which would have supported the HRIS in the past. now they are able to afford all the HRIS facilities. Now, why is it needed? HRIS basically it builds the organizational capabilities, then job design and organizational structure, increasing size of the workforce, technological advances, computerized information systems, changes in legal environment, and it helps HR managers to perform HR functions in a more effective and systematic way using technology. So basically, human resource information system is not just the choice of the organization anymore, but it's the requirement of the organizations these days because of the computerizing of the entire society or the economy or the businesses. It has become a very important aspect of any organization to implement HRIS. So the changes in the environment also. As you know, an organization is not a distant or a separate entity, and it interacts with the environment as a whole, with the society, with the political environment, with the legal environment. And all those environments, if they are getting automated day by day, it's not the choice of the organization or the business anymore that if it needs to get automated or not. It has to automate its services and its functions. Then your job design and organizational structure. When we talk about job design and organizational structure, again it is very much related to the succession planning which we discussed earlier, in which job requirements of the future are to be seen and assigned accordingly, to which information system or HRIS is very much efficient. Then this is the diagrammatic presentation of HRIS track, in which you can see the main functions of HRIS which are performed through information technology records. So for that, first of all, the recruitment and selection of employee is to be done. It starts with that particular function. In that, the applications are invited online and they are sorted out according to the needs of the management or according to the requirements and the job, and the selection procedure is to be followed accordingly. In the selection procedure, certain tests and certain interviews may be conducted, and due to the growing prevalence of HRIS, these tests and interviews may be conducted online, and the requirement of the face-to-face interactions has decreased dramatically. You may be already familiar with lots of e-conferences or Skype interviews. When you are applying for a job in a foreign countries, for especially the technical jobs, the need to go to that particular country to conduct the interview has decreased dramatically. In the past, there was no other way but to go to that particular country, spend your resources, and ultimately find out whether you were selected or not, in which chances were that you may also not be selected for that particular position, and you have already spent a significant amount of resources to apply for that job and to travel to the desired country for that particular job. These days, interviews may be conducted through conferences held online, which could be various platforms, either Google or through Skype, in which the managers, there would be a team of managers sitting at the office of the organization or the business, and they communicate with the desired employee through electronic interface and judge his personality or his information or his skills. Then employment equity is another important function of HRIS, in which the equality of human resources is assured by HRIS because there are in a large organization very large number of employees working, which may be spread throughout the country or throughout various countries at the same time. In that, human resource information systems role increases drastically as it is able to process the information of all the employees at the same time and decide who's superior to the other in terms of the skills and the requirements for the particular job, and accordingly various decisions regarding the compensation or the motivational factors or the bonuses, these can be taken accordingly. Salary administration, the most basic thing, the salary administration is the primary stage of the HRIS, in which the salary details of employees is fed in the computer. So basically, in any, even the smallest of the organization, the salary details is managed through the Excel files, if not a detailed or a comprehensive information system. In that Excel or the Tally software that may be followed by any organization, it stores the salary details of any employee, and the tax benefits are to be calculated through that particular program also. So that particular Excel or Tally may act as or may be called a human resource information system in its the most basic terms. It need not be that comprehensive, but there are various levels of human resource information system, which is the most basic level in which salary administration is to be done. Then pension administration, employee relations, benefits, compensation, training and development, HR planning, health and safety, medical records. Another important aspect, the medical records, in which the organizations, in an organization, the employees' detail regarding the health benefits may be stored, in which all the processes that are required to sanction particular health benefits for the employee may be sanctioned through online rather than going through a long and cumbersome process of offline dealing with those such records. Again, health and safety. Safety requirements, again, human resource information system plays a very important role in safety of its employees because especially in the jobs that requires hazardous situations in which employees are working in various kind of jobs which requires manual labor, HRIS figures out which jobs require what kind of skills, and accordingly they decide which jobs the risk level of the particular jobs, and decide the kind of equipments or the safety precautions needed to perform that particular job, and accordingly HR managers could provide those facilities to the employees. So then we talk about the employee relations. Again, as we discussed earlier, in that human resources manager could directly interact with the employees through employee relations portals of HRIS, in which the employees can file their needs, their desires or their grievances with HR managers. Then who are the human resource information systems users? They are HR professionals such as HR managers, representatives, then support staff, lower level employees, middle level employees, upper level employees, and executives and directors. It is usually a misconception to think that HRIS is to be used only by the management. Human resource information system is a system that is used by all the levels of employees, be it lower or be it HR manager, because the information regarding other employees may be accessed by even lower level employees. I'll give you an example for this. In especially multinational companies who can afford very expensive and comprehensive human resource information systems, In that, employees can interact with other employees if they are situated at different parts of the position or different parts of the world, and they can hold a conference or a one-to-one discussion with other employees whose skills or training they may require. Say, for example, there are two employees who are situated at different parts of the world, but one employee possesses certain skills which the other employee does not, and the other employee is in grave need for those particular skills. So he may contact that particular employee through HRIS systems in the organization, and he may ask his assistance for the same. Now, these kind of activities would not go unnoticed. Human resource managers are seeing these activities constantly, and the employees who share their knowledge through such systems, who are helping other employees in the same organization, are rewarded accordingly. So human resource information system would not only solve the problem of the person requiring these particular skills, but it would also reward the person who are sharing those particular skills through HRIS systems. Then applications and utilities of HRIS. Personnel administration. It will encompass information about each employee, such as name, address, personal detail, etc. Salary administration, salary reviews procedures are important function of HRM. A good HRIS system must be able to perform what if analysis and present the reports of changes. Then leave and absence recording, essentially be able to provide comprehensive method of controlling leave and absences. Then skill inventory. It is also used to store record of acquired skills and monitor the skill database, both employee and organizational levels. Then performance appraisal. The system should record individual employee performance appraisal data, such as due date of appraisals, scores, etc. Then human resource planning. HRIS should record details of the organizational requirements in terms of positions. Then recruitment, record data, details of recruitment activities such as cost and methods of recruitment and time to fill the positions, etc. Then career planning. System must be able to provide with succession plans reports to identify which employee have been earmarked for which position. Then collective bargaining, in which a computer terminal can be positioned in the conference room linked to database. This will expedite negotiation by readily providing up-to-date data based on facts and figures and not just feelings and fictions. So basically, most important aspects which have not been discussed is skill inventory, in which the HRIS would map the skills of each and every employee in the organization. It's going to locate the particular skill set of employees, and it's going to let other employees and the managers in the organization know which employee possesses which particular skill and where that particular employee is located and how to communicate with that particular employee. So accordingly, if a position is vacant which may require that particular skill, a manager need not look outside the organization, but it may just go through the database of HRIS and locate that particular skill set in that particular employee who may be located anywhere in the world, and may call that employee and have him join that particular position. Similarly, if one employee requires help of other employee, he may feed in the HRIS what kind of help he may require and what kind of skill is required to solve that particular problem, and accordingly he may decide who employee would it be most appropriate to contact in order to sort the problem out. Similarly, another function, that is the collective bargaining, which is another very important aspect of HRIS, in which the scores of employees and managers can sit through a conference in HRIS database, and it may decide upon which kind of decisions need to be taken through the interaction of both employees, the trade unions, and the managers at the same time, which could be held through electronic conferences. Then performance appraisal, which is another important aspect not discussed, in which the performance of each and every employee is to be recorded from time to time in information systems. Most important, one of the commonly used performance appraisal tools is behaviorally anchored rating scales, in which the scale is to be provided through electronic database, in which the supervisor of the particular employee feeds all the behavioral aspects regarding the performance of the employee, and the employee is rated on those particular aspects accordingly. It's an objective scale, and the computer is able to analyze those particular scales and the skill set, and accordingly decide or appraise that employee for future decisions such as the bonus or the salary administration. Now the process we've discussed: recruitment, selection, and after that training and development, performance evaluation, promotions, performance appraisal, and employee relation. This is to be conducted in one continuum, and HRIS plays a very important role in that. Then HR modules, one of the most important aspects. There are several aspects of human resource information system in which different modules are to be provided to the managers for different functioning. Say for example, payroll module, it automates the pay processes by gathering data on employee time and attendance, calculating various deductions and taxes, and generating periodic pay checks and employee tax reports. Then another important module is online recruiting, which is used to garner potential employees for available positions within an organization. Then time and labor management module, which is designed to collate and analyze employee timekeeping information for purposes of organizational cost accounting. Then training module and learning management system, which provides a system of for organizations to administer and track employee training and development efforts. Then HR management modules, which records basic demographic data of employee training and development skills and qualifications of each employee. Advanced HR management modules can also automate the process of application for positions by capturing application data and entering it to a relevant database. Then benefit administration module, which provides a system for organizations to administer and track employee participation in benefits program. These programs can range from programs such as health insurance and pension schemes, stock option plans, and profit sharing. Then HRIS software, the most commonly used softwares in the world, they are AbraSuite, ABS, Oracle, HRSoft, Cord, then PeopleSoft, SAP HR, Spectrum HR, and Vantage HRA. Then various stages of HR development. As I said, HRIS is an information system which can be extremely cheap, or it could be extremely expensive depending on the facilities it is providing. The most basic form could be the tally software, which could just be used to garner the salary details of the employees, and the most expensive ones could cost millions of dollars, installed by the big multinational corporations, which could incorporate all the aspects, including recruitment, training, development, or compensation management of employee, and in which employees and management can interact constantly through that. So basically the benefit of HRIS, first of all, it saves times and cost and work reallocation. and faster information processing, greater information accuracy, improved planning and program development, and enhanced employee communications. Then high speed of retrieval and processing of data, reduction in duplication of efforts leading to reduced cost, ease in classification and reclassification data, better analysis leading to more efficient decision making, higher accuracy of information report generated, fast response to answer queries, improved quality of reports, better work culture, establishing of streamlined and systematic procedure, more transparency in the system, and employee self-management. Accordingly, a study conducted by Giga and Cedar in 2003 and 2 accordingly, it was found out that employee satisfaction went up by 50% in the organization which installed HRIS softwares. Similarly, worker productivity increased by 40 to 60%, learning efficiency was up by 40%, service level was up by 20 to 30%, turnover increased, and time to ramp new hires also was improved, or the decrease of the time was up to 50%. Saving time, it saves a lot of time, leading to efficiency, easy data maintenance, administration processes automated, employee self-service, then adequate information base that leads to timely decision making, and responding faster to employee inquiries to enhance efficiency and productivity. It lowers cost by less time spent on tasks, which would mean lesser money spent on those particular tasks, then minimizing the paperwork, and timely and accurately decision making, which may include lesser cost, and reallocation through helping the employee perform better through effective career planning and performance management, and integrating the human resource functions with other business functions in enterprise to serve personnel better. So, implementing HRIS, when this software is to be installed in the organization, certain steps needs to be followed, in which inception of the idea starts with that. Then feasibility study is conducted, then selecting a project team which could be outsourced from other organizations as well who specialize in installing HRIS softwares. Then defining the requirements, vendor analysis, package on track, negotiations, and training. So these are the steps. After that, the human resource information system is installed in organizations. At the end, I would like to say that no organization should rely itself on any information technology solely, but the judgment of the managers is the most important, and the interaction between the information systems and managers is the key to the success of any information system, be it information system or management information system. So at the end, I would like to say human resource information system is a system which collects the information and analyzes the information regarding the human resources or the employees in the organization, and make the judgments and decisions accordingly. And the management and the organization will continue to facilitate through the activities and the conveniences provided by the HRIS in future. Thank you.
With this note, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Dear friends, if you want to give your feedback for this lecture, then do write to us at info.cec@nic.in. If you have any queries or if you want to give your suggestion, do contact us at the same ID. Dear friends, we are going to upload this lecture on YouTube very soon for you, so that you can access the lecture the number of times you wanted. We would be meeting again very soon and would be discussing on another topic under HRM. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.